Welcome, dear friend, to this quiet evening of rest and reflection. Tonight, we begin a gentle journey into the teachings of resilience, calmness, and unshakable peace. The Buddha once compared the mind of the wise to a great rock, firm, unmoved, and steady, no matter how fierce the winds or storms may blow against it. This is the essence of mental strength, not the absence of difficulty, but the ability to remain centered through it all. As you settle into this moment, allow your body to release the tensions of the day. Notice the simple support beneath you, holding you effortlessly. Take one slow, deep breath in, feeling the air fill your lungs like a soft tide rising to the shore. And as you exhale, let that breath carry away the residue of effort, of hurry, of unfinished tasks that no longer belong to this hour. Breathe again, slowly and fully, as if you are filling not just your lungs, but your entire being with calmness. Let the exhale wash over you like waves receding back into the ocean, leaving the sand smooth and quiet. Life often feels like an ocean. There are days when the waters are calm and clear, reflecting the sky without a ripple. And there are days when waves crash, winds howl, and the surface becomes chaotic. Yet beneath it all, deep in the heart of the ocean, the waters remain still. Tonight, we begin with that image, an ocean whose depths are calm, regardless of the storms above. As you rest here, you too will begin to discover this depth within yourself. The ancient teachings speak of what are called the 8 worldly winds: praise and blame, gain and loss, fame and disgrace, pleasure and pain. These winds sweep across the landscape of every human life. No one escapes them. They come and go like weather patterns. To be mentally strong is to understand their inevitability and not to be blown about by them. Imagine yourself as a great rock standing by the shore. Storms may strike, waves may crash, winds may howl, but you remain steady, unshaken. You are not hardened or closed, but stable and secure in your natural strength. This rock is not trying to resist. It simply exists in its true nature, unmoved. Let that image sink into your heart tonight. You are learning to be that rock, present, steady, and at peace, no matter what winds may pass. Pause here and take another breath. Feel the weight of your body resting into the earth, as though you too were part of the landscape. Let your breath deepen naturally, flowing in and out like the tide. Imagine each inhale as a wave rising and gathering strength, and each exhale as the wave receding, leaving behind stillness. Perhaps today brought challenges, words that stung, plans that shifted, tasks unfinished. Perhaps it brought joys that lifted your heart. Both praise and blame, both success and setback, are like passing weather. None of them define you. Like the wise person described by the Buddha, you can rest in something deeper than circumstances, a strength that does not waver with each changing gust. Imagine that you are sitting on a wide beach. Before you stretches the endless horizon, painted with the last glow of evening light. Behind you rises a mountain of stone, ancient and unshaken. The waves crash, the gulls call, the wind moves across your face, but the mountain remains. You, too, can remain still, present, aware. As you listen, feel how your breath flows like the tides, steady and faithful. Each inhale brings renewal. Each exhale is a soft letting go. You are learning the rhythm of resilience, the natural pulse of inner calm. Strength does not mean you will never fall, but that you will rise again, gently, with compassion for yourself. To be mentally strong is not to fight against storms or deny their presence. It is to know, deeply, that storms are temporary. The rain will pass, the winds will quiet, the waves will return to calm. The strong mind does not seek to escape the weather of life, but learns to live at peace within it. Allow this teaching to settle into you as you rest. Feel the softness of your breath, the ease in your shoulders, the quiet weight of your body sinking into support. Nothing more is required of you now. You are enough as you are. The practice tonight is not about achieving, but about remembering the stillness beneath the waves, remembering the rock unmoved by the storm, remembering that peace is not found in controlling circumstances, but in resting deeper than circumstances. So let this first chapter be a threshold. We are stepping into a night of peace, guided by ancient wisdom that teaches us how to stand unshaken amid all of life's changes. You need not grasp or strive. You need only listen, breathe, and allow the stories to unfold within you. Tonight, may you remember, you are like the rock, steady, unmoved, and deeply at rest, no matter what winds may pass across your sky. In the silence of an ancient forest, the Buddha once spoke words that have carried across centuries, steady as a mountain stream. He said, "As a rock that is unshaken by the storm, so too are the wise, unshaken by praise and blame." Imagine this image gently in your mind, a massive stone resting in its place, untouched by even the fiercest winds. The storms may roar, rains may fall, yet the rock abides. This is the teaching of stability. This is the image we carry tonight. Consider for a moment the storms that move through your own life. Praise that lifts your spirits, blame that wounds your heart, moments of success that shine like sunlight, and disappointments that shadow your days. All of them come and go, just as weather comes and goes. None of them last forever. None of them define the truth of who you are. Like the rock, you can remain grounded, steady, unmoved by passing winds. As you breathe here, feel into this possibility. The ground beneath you holds you with quiet strength. Notice how the body knows how to breathe without effort. The breath flows in, the breath flows out. You do not need to force it. You do not need to control it. In the same way, you do not need to chase after praise or run from blame. You can simply remain. The Buddha called these forces the 8 worldly winds: praise and blame, gain and loss, fame and disgrace, pleasure and pain. They blow through every life. No one is spared their shifting directions. Yet the wise do not let their hearts be carried away by them. Imagine yourself sitting quietly while a great wind passes around you. Dust may swirl, leaves may scatter, but in your stillness you remain rooted, calm, present. These winds cannot shake your center unless you choose to let them. Perhaps today you felt the warmth of praise, someone admired your work, or spoke kindly of you, and perhaps at another moment you felt the sting of criticism or blame. Both touched you, and both have already begun to fade. Can you see how fleeting these winds are? How quickly they come, and how quickly they vanish? Now, take another deep breath. With each inhale, imagine strength rising from the earth, flowing into you, anchoring you like the roots of a tree gripping the soil. With each exhale, imagine letting go of the need to cling to praise, the urge to resist blame. You are simply here, present and steady. The strength we are cultivating tonight is not the strength of resistance or denial. It is the strength of presence, the strength of awareness. To be unshaken is not to close your heart, but to allow the winds to pass through without uprooting you. Think of the mountain you may have seen in pictures or in memory rising high, covered with snow, watching centuries unfold. Seasons change around it, storms come and go, but the mountain remains. Your own mind can learn to be like this, resting in awareness that endures beyond change. Notice now how your body feels when you recall times you were praised. Perhaps there was warmth, perhaps excitement. Notice too how it feels to recall times of blame or criticism, perhaps heaviness, perhaps defensiveness. Both sensations are natural, yet both are temporary. You do not need to chase one or flee the other. You can watch them as you would watch clouds drifting across the sky. As you rest here, see if you can soften even further. Feel the support beneath you as more than just physical. Imagine that the earth itself is lending you its strength. Imagine that gravity is not a burden but a grounding embrace, holding you steady, reminding you that you belong here. The 8 worldly winds are like passing seasons. In spring, blossoms open. In winter, trees grow bare. Neither is superior, neither is permanent. The wise person accepts both, moving through them without clinging. In the same way, you can learn to accept both joy and sorrow, both gain and loss, without letting them define your essence. Picture now that you are standing on a wide cliff, overlooking the ocean. The wind is strong, rushing past your ears, tugging at your clothes, but you remain steady. You can hear the roar of the waves below, the endless movement of the sea, and yet your feet are firm upon the stone. This is your inner strength. This is the rock within you. The Buddha did not say that storms would cease to exist, or that the winds would no longer blow. He said that wisdom allows us to remain steady within them. To cultivate this wisdom is to discover a peace that no circumstance can take away. So as you prepare to drift further into tonight's journey, rest like the rock, unmoved by the storm. Rest like the mountain that holds its ground through centuries of change. Rest like the ocean's depths, still and calm beneath the surface waves. This is your nature. This is the strength within you. The Buddha spoke often of what he called the 8 worldly winds. They are the invisible currents that move through every human life, shaping our experiences, stirring our emotions, and testing our inner balance. These winds are praise and blame, gain and loss, fame and disgrace, pleasure and pain. Like the changing seasons, they arrive whether we invite them or not. Just as winter follows autumn and spring follows winter, so too do these winds move in cycles. No one is exempt. They touch the lives of kings and beggars, monks and householders, saints and sinners alike. The Buddha's teaching was not that we should avoid them, but that we should not be carried away by them. Imagine standing in a wide open field. Around you, breezes rise and fall. Sometimes the air is warm and gentle, carrying the sweet fragrance of blossoms. At other times the wind is sharp, biting, and cold, carrying dust that stings your eyes. You cannot control the direction of the wind, but you can choose how to stand within it. You can bend and sway like grass, or you can root yourself like a tree, steady and grounded. Consider praise and blame. When others speak well of you, the heart naturally lifts. There is joy in being appreciated, in being seen. Yet this joy is fragile if it depends on the constant flow of praise. The same lips that offer kind words one day may offer harsh ones the next. If your peace rises and falls with every word spoken by others, you will be tossed about like a leaf in the storm. Now consider gain and loss. Sometimes life brings abundance, success, opportunity, growth. At other times, things slip through your fingers, possessions, plans, relationships. If your happiness depends only on gain, then loss will feel unbearable. But if you can see both gain and loss as passing winds, then neither can shake your foundation. Fame and disgrace are subtler winds. Perhaps in your life, you have known moments of recognition, when your efforts were acknowledged, when your name carried weight. And perhaps you have also known the shadow of disgrace, when mistakes or misunderstandings clouded your reputation. Both fame and disgrace are temporary illusions, reflections on the surface of water. Beneath them, your essence remains untouched. And finally, pleasure and pain. These are perhaps the most intimate winds of all, felt in every breath of life. The comfort of warmth on a cold day, the sting of disappointment when something cherished is lost. To cling to pleasure is to fear its loss. To resist pain is to multiply its weight. Yet when we learn to let both come and go as they naturally do, we find a freedom deeper than either. Take a slow breath here. Inhale and feel the movement of air entering your body. Exhale and notice how even the breath itself has a rhythm of gain and loss. Breath comes, breath goes. You do not cling to the inhale or resist the exhale. You allow both, trusting the cycle. In this same way, can you learn to allow the winds of life to pass without resistance? The Buddha did not teach detachment as coldness. He taught equanimity as warmth without clinging. When praise comes, you smile, but you do not lose yourself in it. When blame comes, you bow, but you do not collapse. When gain blesses your path, you are grateful, and when loss visits, you accept it with patience. Picture a traveler walking a long road. On one side, the wind pushes from behind, making each step lighter. On another day, the wind shifts and blows against the traveler's chest, slowing the journey. Yet the wise traveler does not stop walking. Whether aided or resisted, the path continues. The winds may change, but the direction remains. Now reflect gently on your own life. Can you recall times when praise lifted you, when blame cut deeply, times when gain seemed to promise security and loss threatened despair? Can you see how all of those moments, whether joyful or painful, eventually passed? None of them lasted. None of them define you now. Strength comes not from avoiding the winds, but from walking through them with balance. When you can see praise and blame, gain and loss, fame and disgrace, pleasure and pain as part of the natural weather of life, then you are free. Take another breath now, deeper this time. Let the inhale fill you with steadiness. Let the exhale release the need to control what cannot be controlled. Imagine that you are becoming like the mountain, patient and unmoving, while clouds drift across its sky. The winds blow, but the mountain remains. The 8 worldly winds will always be part of life. They are woven into the human experience. But tonight, as you rest, you can remember that they need not uproot your peace. You can feel them, acknowledge them, and allow them to pass. Like a wise sailor, you can adjust your sails without losing your course. So rest now in this teaching. Let the winds blow where they may. You are steady, you are grounded, you are more than the praise, more than the blame, more than the fleeting rise and fall of circumstances. Like the rock in the Buddha's teaching, you are unshaken. The Buddha often compared the mind to water. Sometimes the surface is calm, reflecting the sky with perfect clarity. Other times, winds stir the surface into restless waves, tossing debris and foam. Yet whether calm or stormy, it is still the same water. The storms may disturb the surface, but they cannot change the essence of the ocean itself. Tonight, let us sit with this image, your mind as an ocean. When the surface is calm, you can see reflections of the world clearly. When it is stormy, vision becomes clouded. Yet beneath the surface, in the deeper waters, there is always stillness. Even when waves roar above, the depths remain steady. Take a slow breath in now. Imagine that breath flowing down like rain into the ocean. As you exhale, imagine the surface growing a little smoother, a little more at peace. With each cycle of breathing, you are reminded, storms may come, but they are not forever. Calmness is always waiting beneath the surface. Think of a time when your mind felt stormy thoughts racing, emotions rising, restlessness crashing in all directions. In those moments, It is easy to believe the storm is who you are, but storms always pass. No storm in nature has lasted forever, and no storm of the mind has ever stayed permanently. They come, they rage, they dissolve. What remains is the calm depth beneath. The wise learn to watch storms without becoming them. Just as a sailor respects the ocean's moods, we can learn to navigate the waters of the mind without fearing them. When anger, sorrow, or fear rise like great waves, you can say gently, "This too is part of the weather. This too will pass." Take another deep breath. Inhale the calm of the ocean depths. Exhale the turbulence of the surface. Let your body sink like a stone to the still waters below. Feel how, even in the storm, peace is never gone. It is simply hidden, waiting to be rediscovered. Imagine yourself now standing on the shore. Before you stretches the sea. Some days you come, and the waters are smooth like glass, reflecting the golden colors of sunrise. On other days, you come, and the sky is gray, the waves restless, the horizon obscured. If you judge the ocean only by one visit, you might believe it was always stormy or always calm. But the truth is deeper. The ocean is both, and neither defines its essence. So it is with the mind. Do not define yourself by a single moment of agitation or a single season of sorrow. Beneath all of it, there is a depth of stillness that cannot be destroyed. The Buddha taught that mindfulness is the way to return to this stillness, to observe without clinging, to watch thoughts and emotions rise and fall like waves, knowing you are the vast ocean beneath, not the fleeting storms above. As you sit here, resting in breath and story, imagine that you are no longer on the shore, but floating gently in the water itself. The waves rise, but you do not resist. You move with them, trusting their rhythm. You are carried, but not controlled, supported, but not shaken. Now, take this reflection deeper. Imagine yourself sinking slowly into the depths of the ocean. The surface grows distant above you, the waves quieter, the light softer. Around you is calm, unbroken stillness. You can rest here, in the deep heart of the ocean, untouched by storms. This is the place of strength. This is the place of clarity. No matter what winds blow in your daily life, no matter what emotions rise or fall, this depth remains within you, always here, always calm. So when storms of thought come again, and they will, you may remember this journey. You may breathe and remind yourself, I am not only the storm, I am the ocean itself. Rest now in this truth. Rest as the calm depths. Rest as the ocean that holds storms and calms alike, yet is never defined by either. Life is a rhythm. Days of ease follow days of difficulty. Mornings of joy follow evenings of sorrow. Moments of clarity give way to confusion, and confusion eventually dissolves into understanding. The Buddha taught that to live wisely is not to resist this rhythm, but to meet it with mindfulness. Mindfulness is the gentle art of noticing. It is the practice of being fully present with what is, without judgment, without clinging, without pushing away. When joy arises, mindfulness notices it and says, "Ah, joy is here." When sorrow arrives, mindfulness notices it and says, "Ah, sorrow is here." In both cases, there is awareness. In both cases, there is space. Imagine walking along a forest path. The ground beneath you changes as you go. At times, soft earth cushions your steps. At other times, stones press against your feet. There are patches of sunlight, warm on your skin, and patches of shadow, cool and dim. If you are mindful, you notice each change without clinging to one or rejecting the other. You simply walk, step by step, aware of what is beneath your feet, aware of what surrounds you. This is the way of life. Ups and downs are as natural as the alternation of day and night. To believe we can have only light without darkness, only gain without loss, only praise without blame, is to misunderstand the nature of existence. To be mindful is to befriend the whole cycle, to stand with open arms in every season. Take a slow breath in now. Notice the coolness of the air as it enters your nose. Pause gently, and then exhale, noticing the warmth as the breath leaves. Even your breathing is a rhythm of ups and downs. The chest rises, the chest falls. The inhale is fullness, the exhale is release. Both are essential. Without one, the other could not exist. Mindfulness allows you to see clearly that every up contains the seed of a down, and every down contains the seed of an up. Gain contains loss, and loss contains the possibility of new beginnings. Pleasure contains the awareness of its passing, and pain carries the possibility of compassion. When you are mindful, you begin to see the truth. No single moment defines you. You are not only your joys, nor are you only your sorrows. You are the awareness in which both arise and pass. Picture yourself sitting by a riverbank. The water flows steadily, carrying leaves, branches, even entire trees past you. Sometimes, the water sparkles with sunlight. Sometimes it swells with rain and mud. But you are not the river. You are the watcher on the bank, observing what passes without needing to jump in or control its flow. This is mindfulness in the ups and downs of life. The joys pass by, the sorrows pass by. You remain present, steady, compassionate with yourself in every moment. Perhaps today brought you moments of happiness, a kind word, a task completed, a smile from someone you love. And perhaps today brought difficulty, a disappointment, a worry, a feeling of uncertainty. Both are part of the river. Both are worthy of noticing. Neither needs to carry you away. Take another slow breath. As you inhale, notice the body receiving air. As you exhale, notice the body letting go. See how natural this rhythm island. You do not force it, you allow it. In the same way, you can allow the ups and downs of life without force, without resistance. The Buddha often said, "Peace comes from within. Do not seek it without." Mindfulness is the key to finding this inner peace. When you observe with gentle awareness, you realize that peace is not dependent on circumstances being always favorable. Peace arises from the way you meet those circumstances, with openness, with patience, with presence. Mindfulness transforms even suffering. When pain comes, mindfulness allows you to sit with it without becoming it. You may feel sadness, but you are not sadness. You may feel anger, but you are not anger. You are the spacious awareness in which sadness and anger arise and dissolve. Rest now in that awareness. Notice how your body feels supported. Notice how your breath continues faithfully. Notice how your thoughts appear and fade. You do not need to chase them. You do not need to silence them. You need only to watch, gently, as you would watch clouds drift across the sky. To live with mindfulness is to live like the ocean we spoke of before, calm on some days, stormy on others, yet always vast enough to contain both. Tonight, you are remembering that you are not the waves. You are the ocean itself. So when the ups come, welcome them gently. When the downs come, welcome them gently too. Both are teachers. Both are part of the rhythm. And through mindfulness, you can remain steady, compassionate, and free. Rest here now, breathing softly, mindful of each inhale, mindful of each exhale. May you discover the peace that is present in every moment, regardless of its shape. Imagine yourself stepping into a quiet forest. The air is cool, filled with the earthy fragrance of pine and moss. Sunlight filters gently through the canopy, scattering golden patterns across the ground. Each step you take is cushioned by soft leaves, each sound softened by the stillness of trees standing as silent guardians. As you walk slowly along this path, notice the trees around you. Some are tall and slender, swaying gracefully with the breeze. Others are massive and ancient, their trunks wide and unyielding, roots gripping the soil like anchors. Though storms have passed through this forest countless times, the trees remain, each one shaped, but not broken by what it has endured. Take a moment here to breathe. Inhale the freshness of the forest air, as though each breath is filled with the strength of these trees. Exhale slowly, letting go of the burdens you carried into this walk. Notice how with each breath, you too are becoming steadier, more rooted, more resilient. The forest teaches us something essential about strength. When winds blow, the rigid branches sometimes break, but the flexible ones bend and sway, and in this flexibility, they survive. Mental strength is not about being hard like stone in every moment, but about being alive, like these trees, able to bend without breaking, able to remain rooted even as storms pass overhead. As you walk deeper into the forest, you hear the distant sound of a stream. Its water flows with ease, winding between stones and roots. The trees lean gently toward it, nourished by its constant presence. Just as the stream feeds the forest, so too does mindfulness feed your resilience. Each moment of awareness is like a drink of clear water, refreshing and sustaining. Pause here in your imagination, standing beside a great oak. Notice the rough bark beneath your hand, the steady strength of the trunk, the quiet patience in its presence. This oak has lived through countless seasons, harsh winters, gentle springs, blazing summers, and cool autumns. Through it all, it has remained. So too can you remain, meeting each season of your life with the patience of this tree. Take another breath. Inhale, as though drawing strength from the roots deep in the soil. Exhale, as though releasing your worries into the earth, where they can be transformed into nourishment. Feel yourself rooted here, steady and alive. The forest whispers a teaching. Storms will always come, but so will sunlight. Night will fall, but dawn will return. The trees do not despair when leaves fall in autumn. They know spring will bring new growth. In the same way, you can learn to trust the cycles of your own life. What feels like loss may become the ground for renewal. What feels like an ending may contain the seed of a beginning. As you continue walking, notice how the path rises and falls, winding gently between hills. Life, too, has rises and falls. There are moments when the path feels easy and moments when it feels steep, but each step you take carries you forward. With mindfulness, even the steepest climbs can be walked with grace. Now, imagine finding a clearing in the forest. Sunlight pours down unhindered, warming the earth. You sit upon a fallen log, listening to the song of birds and the rustling of leaves. Here, in this quiet clearing, you realize that the strength of the forest is not loud or aggressive. It is silent, steady, and enduring. Mental strength is the same. It does not need to shout. It does not need to prove itself. It simply remains. Take another slow breath. Notice how your own body, sitting here, mirrors the patience of the trees, strong, yet soft, grounded, yet open, alive, yet still. The Buddha once said, "Peace comes from within, do not seek it without." As you rest in this forest, you see how true this island. The forest does not search for peace, it simply exists in balance with itself. You, too, can discover peace by resting in your own presence, by standing rooted in awareness, by trusting that storms will pass and new leaves will grow. So as you prepare to leave this forest path, carry its lesson with you. Strength is not rigid resistance. Strength is rooted presence. Like the trees, you can bend without breaking. Like the forest, you can endure and renew. Rest now, dear friend, in the calm of this inner forest. May its stillness remain with you, wherever you walk in the days ahead. In the snowy mountains of Tibet, where winds cut sharp and the sky stretches vast and unbroken, there lived a man whose life became a legend of resilience. His name was Milarepa, and his story is one of the clearest examples of what it means to be mentally strong, to endure suffering, to transform darkness into light, and to rest unshaken, even in the harshest storms of existence. Milarepa was not born into peace. In his youth, he was burdened with pain, betrayal, and anger. His family's wealth was stolen by relatives who left his mother and sister in poverty. Out of desperation, his mother urged him to learn dark magic to take revenge. And so, Milarepa unleashed destruction that harmed many lives. But vengeance did not bring him peace. Instead, it left his heart heavy with regret. Unable to escape the weight of his past, Milarepa sought out a teacher who could guide him toward liberation. He found the great master Marpa, who would change his life forever. Yet Marpa did not immediately welcome him as a disciple. Instead, he gave Milarepa impossible tasks. Marpa ordered him to build a stone tower high on the mountain. Milarepa worked tirelessly, lifting heavy rocks day after day until the tower stood tall. But then Marpa told him to tear it down. Again and again, Milarepa built towers only to dismantle them. His hands bled, his body ached, and his mind cried out in despair. Still, he obeyed. Why such cruelty? Why such hardship? Marpa's harsh methods were not punishment, but purification. Each stone lifted and dropped was a weight of karma being burned away. Each tower built and broken was a test of Milarepa's endurance, his capacity to stay steady despite humiliation, exhaustion, and doubt. Many would have walked away. Many would have cursed Marpa and abandoned the path. But Milarepa remained. Through humiliation, through suffering, through despair, he held on to his aspiration for awakening. His strength was not the strength of ease, but the strength of persistence in the face of every storm. At last, when Marpa saw that Milarepa's mind had become like the rock that does not move with the wind, he welcomed him as a true student. And from that moment forward, Milarepa dedicated his life entirely to practice. He retreated to the mountains, living in caves with nothing but simple food and his meditation. He wore robes dyed green from nettles, for nettle soup was his only nourishment. His body grew thin, but his mind grew vast. Through years of solitude, he practiced unwaveringly, chanting songs of realization that echoed across valleys. The storms of hunger, cold, and loneliness could not move him. He had found within himself a strength greater than any hardship. And so he became known as one of Tibet's greatest yogis, a poet saint whose verses carried the wisdom of direct experience. Go where there is no distraction, sit where there is nothing to cling to, remain in the simplicity of what island. Milarepa's story teaches us something vital. Strength is not the absence of suffering. Strength is the willingness to face suffering with patience, to endure hardship without losing sight of the path, to remain steady when the winds of blame, loss, pain, and despair blow fiercely. Pause here and take a breath. Imagine yourself lifting stones as Milarepa did, each one heavy, each one testing your endurance. Feel the weight of the burdens you have carried in your own life, disappointments, struggles, regrets. And now, as you exhale, imagine setting those stones down, one by one. See how each breath can lighten the load. Milarepa's life shows us that the past, no matter how dark, does not define us. Even acts of great harm can be transformed through sincere practice, patience, and dedication. The storms of yesterday do not have to determine the calm of today. When we walk through our own hardships, it may feel as if life is asking us to build and tear down towers endlessly. Tasks repeat, disappointments come, efforts seem wasted, but beneath the surface, something is being purified, something is being strengthened. Each time you rise again after falling, you are becoming like Milarepa, unshaken, resilient, steady as a mountain. Take another breath now, deep and slow. Inhale the resilience of the mountains, timeless and patient. Exhale your need for immediate results, your demand that life always be easy. Let yourself rest in the slow, enduring rhythm of growth. Milarepa's songs remind us that true strength is simple. It is the strength to sit in solitude, the strength to forgive yourself for past mistakes, the strength to keep walking even when the path feels endless, and the strength to remain open-hearted, singing to the world even after great suffering. As you rest here tonight, let Milarepa's story inspire you. You too can transform pain into wisdom. You too can discover stillness beneath the storms. You too can live with the strength of a mountain and the clarity of an open sky. Rest now, as though you are sitting in Milarepa's mountain cave. The winds may blow outside, the snow may fall, but within there is only warmth, patience, and song. Imagine now that you are standing at the base of a great mountain. Its peak is hidden among clouds, its slopes stretching high above you, covered with forests, streams, and rocky cliffs. The path that winds upward is narrow, sometimes steep, sometimes gentle, but always guiding you toward the summit. This mountain is the path of resilience, a symbol of the inner journey we each must take to discover our true strength. At the beginning of the climb, the air is warm and the path feels easy. Birds sing in the trees, and the ground beneath your feet is soft with soil. Here, the journey seems pleasant, almost effortless. In life, these are the times of ease, when things flow smoothly, when challenges seem far away. Yet we know the path will not always remain so gentle. As you ascend, the trail grows steeper, stones jut from the earth, and roots twist across your steps. The air cools, and your legs begin to tire. These are the challenges of life, the moments when effort is required, when persistence becomes essential. Each step demands patience. Each breath becomes part of the journey itself. Take a slow breath in now. Imagine filling your lungs with the crisp mountain air, fresh and invigorating. As you exhale, release the heaviness of doubt, the weight of discouragement. With each breath, you are carried forward, steady and strong. The mountain teaches us that resilience is not about speed. No one runs to the top in a single bound. True strength is found in steady steps, in the willingness to keep moving, even when the path feels endless. Each small step is progress. Each pause for rest is part of the climb. Perhaps in your life, you have faced steep paths, times when you wondered if you could continue. Yet here you are, still walking, still breathing, still present. This itself is resilience. To endure, to rise again, to place one more step after another, even when the summit seems far away. As you climb higher, clouds gather, the wind grows stronger, rain begins to fall. These storms are the hardships of life: illness, loss, sorrow, disappointment. They test the heart and mind, asking, will you give up here, or will you continue? The resilient one does not deny the storm, but walks through it with patience, knowing it cannot last forever. Pause here for a breath. Inhale, and imagine drawing courage from the mountain itself. Exhale, and release fear into the wind, letting it be carried away. You are stronger than you realize, stronger than the storm that surrounds you. At times, the path disappears into fog. You cannot see the summit. You cannot see far ahead, but still, you take one step and then another. This is the essence of resilience, moving forward without needing to see the entire way, trusting the path even when it is hidden, trusting yourself even when certainty is gone. The Buddha taught, endurance is one of the most difficult disciplines, but it is to the one who endures that the final victory comes. The mountain path reminds us of this truth. Each challenge endured shapes you. Each hardship overcome strengthens you. The climb itself is your teacher, and then, after long effort, the clouds begin to part. The path opens into a ridge where the view stretches wide. You look back and see how far you have come, the valleys below, the forests you walked through, the storms you passed. In this moment, you realize that every step mattered. Every difficulty endured has brought you here. Take another breath, steady and full. Inhale the vastness of the view. Exhale gratitude for the journey. Notice how resilience has carried you not only to the summit, but into a deeper understanding of your own strength. The mountain shows us that resilience is not the absence of struggle. It is the willingness to continue, step by step, breath by breath, no matter how steep the climb, no matter how heavy the burden. And when we reach a place of rest, we see clearly that the journey itself has transformed us. So, as you rest here in your imagination, standing upon the mountain ridge, let its teachings sink into your heart. You are capable of more than you know. The path may be steep, storms may come, fog may hide the way, but with patience and persistence, you can continue. Each step is enough. Each breath is enough. Tonight, let the mountain remind you, resilience is already within you. You have walked through storms before. You have climbed steep paths before, and you are still here, still breathing, still rising. Like the mountain itself, steady and enduring, you too can remain unmoved by the winds that pass across your sky. In every tradition of wisdom, water is a teacher, flowing, changing, never the same in any moment, yet always itself. The Buddha reminded us often of impermanence, the truth that everything changes, that nothing stays fixed forever. Like a river, life moves constantly, carrying us forward whether we resist or not. Imagine yourself standing at the edge of a wide river. The current moves steadily, glistening in the light, carrying leaves, branches, and reflections of the sky. Each drop of water you see passes by only once. You cannot step into the same water twice. So it is with our lives. Each moment is unique. Each breath is new. Take a slow breath now. Inhale and feel the freshness of this moment entering you. Exhale and notice how that breath will never return. Already it is gone, released into the great current of time. Impermanence can feel frightening. We long for good moments to stay, for joy to last, for loved ones to remain beside us forever. Yet change is woven into the fabric of life. To resist it is to fight the river itself. But when we learn to flow with change, we discover peace deeper than clinging. Picture yourself stepping into the river, the cool water rising around your legs. At first, you may resist, planting your feet firmly, trying not to be moved. The current pushes against you, and the effort exhausts you. But then, imagine lifting your feet, allowing yourself to float. Instead of resisting, you are carried. Instead of struggle, there is ease. This is the way of mindfulness with impermanence. To resist change is suffering. To flow with change is freedom. Consider the moments of your own life that have changed unexpectedly. A friendship ended, but another began. A door closed, but another opened. A painful ending gave birth to new growth. When we look back, we often see that what we thought was loss was also transformation. Take another breath. Inhale the truth that all things change. Exhale your fear of this truth. Let it be as natural as the river's flow. The Buddha once said, "All conditioned things are impermanent." When one sees this with wisdom, one turns away from suffering. Impermanence is not a punishment. It is a reminder to cherish what is here, now. To see the beauty of a flower, not because it will last forever, but because it blooms only for a short while. Imagine sitting by the riverbank and watching the sun set. The colors blaze for a few moments and then fade into night. If you cling to the sunset, you will suffer as darkness comes. But if you rest in the beauty of its passing, your heart will know peace. Impermanence also reminds us that suffering, too, does not last forever. Just as joy fades, so does pain. Just as winter turns to spring, sorrow eventually softens. The river carries away both delight and difficulty, leaving space for something new to appear. Reflect now on something in your life that once felt unbearable. Perhaps grief, disappointment, or failure, and notice how time has carried it away. It may still touch you, but it no longer holds you as tightly. The river has moved on, and so have you. There is an old story told of a young monk who struggled with grief. He came to his teacher and said, "Master, my heart feels heavy. I fear that my sorrow will never end." The teacher took the monk to a nearby river and asked him to step in. "Hold this handful of sand in your palm," the teacher said, placing grains into the monk's hand. "Now close your fist tightly." The monk squeezed, and the water rushed around his hand, washing most of the sand away. Only a few grains clung to his skin. "Do you see?" the teacher said. "This is sorrow. You cannot hold on to it forever. Time and life will carry it away, just as the river carries away the sand. What remains is only what you insist on clutching." The monk looked at his hand and saw the truth. His grief was real, but it was not permanent. The more he clung to it, the heavier it felt. The more he allowed the river to carry it, the lighter he became. Take a deep breath now and imagine releasing your own handful of sand into the river. Watch the grains scatter, carried swiftly downstream. Feel the lightness in your hand, the lightness in your heart. The lesson of the river is simple. Everything changes. To grasp at permanence is to create suffering. To accept impermanence is to discover freedom. So as you rest here tonight, let the river of impermanence wash through you. Let it carry away old worries, old regrets, old fears. Let it remind you that each moment is new, fresh, alive with possibility. You are not separate from this river. You are part of its flow. Like every leaf it carries, like every ripple it makes, your life is a movement in this great stream. And when you can float peacefully, trusting its direction, you find the unshakable strength of acceptance. Rest now in the current, gentle and steady. Let the river carry you into the stillness of sleep. When storms arise in life, the mind often reacts with panic. We rush to fix, to control, to resist, but the Buddha taught that true strength does not come from frantic struggle. It comes from calm awareness, from the ability to see clearly into the heart of a problem and meet it with wisdom. Imagine yourself sitting by a still pond. When the surface is disturbed by waves, you cannot see what lies beneath. But when the water grows calm, the bottom becomes clear. The same is true of the mind. When panic stirs the surface, solutions remain hidden. When mindfulness brings stillness, clarity arises. Take a slow breath. Inhale stability, exhale confusion. Allow the breath to smooth the waters of your mind until you can see clearly what lies beneath. To cultivate a problem-solving mind is to begin with acceptance. Not acceptance in the sense of giving up, but acceptance in the sense of seeing things as they are. If a roof leaks, denial will not mend it. If a relationship suffers, ignoring it will not bring harmony. Acceptance is the first step to look at what is before you with open eyes. Once you see clearly, the mind can turn to understanding. Ask yourself gently, what is the root of this difficulty? What has given rise to this suffering? Just as a doctor seeks the cause of illness, the wise seek the cause of problems, not only their symptoms. Consider the story of a monk who once complained to his teacher about a cracked water jug. "Each day I fill it," he said, "and each day it leaks. I am weary of carrying water in a broken vessel." The teacher smiled and asked, "Why do you not mend the crack?" The monk paused, realizing that he had been focused only on the frustration, not on the solution. He had cursed the dripping water, but had not once tried to patch the jug. In our own lives, how often do we do the same? How often do we focus on the annoyance, the inconvenience, the pain, without looking deeper into the cause? To cultivate a problem-solving mind is to shift from complaint to curiosity, from reaction to reflection. Take another breath here. Inhale curiosity, exhale reactivity. Allow yourself to soften into the possibility that solutions may appear when the mind is patient. The Buddha also taught that every problem carries within it impermanence. No difficulty lasts forever. Even the greatest sorrow shifts and changes with time. Remembering this truth can bring calm in the midst of challenge. Just as a tree bends in the wind but does not break, the mind can bend with difficulties and remain whole. Picture yourself facing a challenge. It could be a task at work, a conflict in a relationship, or a worry about the future. Imagine placing it gently on a table before you, like a puzzle waiting to be solved. You do not push it away, and you do not cling to it. You simply look from this place of calm observation. New perspectives begin to appear. Sometimes the problem is not as large as it first seemed. Sometimes the solution lies not in control, but in letting go. Sometimes the wisest action is not to act immediately, but to wait until clarity arises. A problem-solving mind is patient. It does not rush. It trusts the rhythm of insight. Take another breath, deep and slow. Inhale patience, exhale haste. Imagine yourself becoming steady like a mountain, observing the shifting weather without being moved. Strength does not mean never falling. Strength means rising after every fall. In the same way, wisdom does not mean never facing problems. Wisdom means learning to meet problems with a calm and steady heart. The Buddha once said, "Do not dwell in the past. Do not dream of the future. Concentrate the mind on the present moment." What Taipei's Sada sign did I? Peace is not minus. Peace is not pace. Problems often feel overwhelming because we multiply them with fears of what might come or regrets of what has already passed. But when we stay with the present, the problem shrinks to a size we can hold, and in holding it gently, we can see it more clearly. So as you rest here tonight, reflect on this teaching. Problems are not enemies, they are teachers, guiding you toward patience, clarity, and strength. The calm mind can find solutions where the restless mind sees only obstacles. Take one final breath for this chapter. Inhale clarity, exhale ease. May you carry the calm of the still pond into your daily life. May you discover that within you already lives a problem-solving mind, steady, compassionate, and free. Among the many strengths we can cultivate, one of the most overlooked is the strength of loving ourselves. We often speak of resilience, patience, and compassion for others, but forget that these qualities begin with the way we treat our own hearts. The Buddha reminded us, "You yourself, as much as anybody in the entire universe, deserve your love and affection. Imagine waking each morning with the simple resolve: today, I will treat myself with kindness. Not indulgence, not selfishness, but genuine kindness, the kind of warmth you might offer a dear friend. How different might the day feel if every challenge were met, not with self-criticism, but with self-compassion? Take a slow breath now. Inhale acceptance, exhale judgment. Allow the breath to soften the edges of your inner voice, replacing harshness with gentleness. Many people confuse strength with hardness. They believe that to be strong is to endure without complaint, to push through pain, to silence their own needs. But the deepest strength is found in softness, to acknowledge pain without shame, to rest when rest is needed, to forgive yourself when mistakes are made. Picture yourself as a child again. Imagine looking into the eyes of that younger self. Would you scold them for stumbling, or would you kneel, offer your hand, and help them stand again? This is self-love, not to deny our humanity, but to embrace it fully, with patience and tenderness. The Buddha spoke of the practice of loving kindness, metta, which begins with oneself. To sit quietly and say, "May I be safe, may I be healthy, may I be peaceful, may I live with ease." These simple words, repeated with sincerity, become a balm for the restless mind. Take another breath. Inhale peace, exhale warmth. Let these words ripple through you. May I be well, may I be at ease. Self-love is also the courage to set down the burdens of negativity that others try to hand you. Just as you would refuse to carry someone else's heavy bag if your hands were already full, so too can you refuse to carry their anger, criticism, or cruelty. To love yourself is to protect your peace, to say gently, "This is not mine to hold." Consider the image of a trash bin. If you leave it unemptied, it begins to smell, to overflow, to weigh down the space around it. But if you clear it each day, it remains fresh, ready to hold only what is necessary. The Buddha taught that the heart is the same. Each morning, we can empty yesterday's burdens and begin anew. Pause here. Imagine yourself waking tomorrow and saying, "No matter what happens today, I will love myself. I will not take on unnecessary negativity. I will keep my heart light, my mind free." Self-love also means choosing gentleness in how we speak to ourselves. Words carry power. Harsh inner voices wound us as deeply as harsh outer ones. But when we soften our words, when we say, "It's all right, I am learning, I am growing," we nourish our spirit instead of depleting it. Take another breath, slow and deep. Inhale kindness, exhale forgiveness. Allow yourself to feel the relief of being on your own side, of standing as your own ally. The Buddha once said, "Peace comes from within. Do not seek it without." Self-love is the foundation of this inner peace. Without it, we seek approval endlessly from others, tossed about by praise and blame. With it, we stand steady, unshaken by external winds. Picture yourself sitting quietly in a warm room, a candle glowing beside you. Outside, winds may howl, storms may rage, but within, there is safety. This room is your heart when it is filled with self-love, a sanctuary no storm can breach. Rest now in that sanctuary. Feel the breath flowing gently. Feel the body supported. Feel the heart softening. And let these words echo silently within. I love myself. I forgive myself. I am worthy of peace. The practice of self-love does not make us selfish. It makes us whole. And from wholeness, compassion naturally flows to others. When your own heart is tended with care, you can more easily offer care to those around you. So tonight, as you prepare for rest, let this be your practice. May I release harshness. May I embrace gentleness. May I live tomorrow, not as my own enemy, but as my own friend. Take one final breath for this chapter. Inhale love, exhale peace, and know that the strength of self-love is already alive within you, steady and unshakable. In every life, there are nights that feel long and heavy, times when difficulties surround us, when sorrow clouds our vision, when fear whispers that the path is lost. In such moments, the Buddha's teachings remind us that compassion is like a lantern, a light we carry that guides us through the dark. Imagine yourself walking along a quiet road at night. The air is cool, the stars hidden behind drifting clouds. At first, the way forward seems uncertain, but in your hand, you hold a lantern. Its glow is gentle yet steady, illuminating each step before you. You cannot see the entire road, but you can see enough. This is the power of compassion. It does not remove the darkness, but it makes the path walkable. Compassion begins within. Just as a lantern must be lit before it can shine outward, compassion for others begins with compassion for yourself. If your heart is filled with anger or self-hatred, the flame of compassion flickers and fades. But when you tend to your own heart with kindness, the lantern grows bright, and its light can reach far beyond you. Take a slow breath now. Inhale gentleness, exhale hardness. Imagine a soft flame glowing at the center of your chest, warming and steady. This is your lantern. There is a story from the Buddha's time of a woman named Patakara. She endured unimaginable losses: her husband, her children, her parents. Overwhelmed by grief, she wandered in despair. When she came to the Buddha, he did not turn her away. Instead, he spoke gently of impermanence, reminding her that all who are born must one day die. Though his words did not erase her sorrow, they gave her compassion for herself, and from that compassion, healing began. Like Patakara, we too can find light even in the darkest hours. Compassion does not erase pain, but it softens it. It does not eliminate loss, but it teaches us to hold our grief tenderly, without letting it consume us. Now imagine offering your lantern to another. Picture someone you know who is suffering, perhaps a friend, perhaps even yourself at a younger time. Hold the lantern out to them, letting its glow reach their face. See how the warmth of compassion eases their burden, even if only a little. The path remains dark, but now it is shared, and sharing makes it lighter. Take another breath here. Inhale warmth, exhale generosity. Let your lantern grow brighter with each breath, as though the very air is feeding its flame. The Buddha taught metta, or loving kindness, as a meditation practice. Sitting quietly, we can repeat phrases such as, "May all beings be safe. May all beings be happy. May all beings live with ease." Each phrase is like carrying your lantern higher, allowing its glow to reach farther across the world. Picture your lantern now glowing so brightly that it lights the forest, the fields, the mountains, and the rivers. Every being touched by its glow feels a little less alone. Birds resting in trees, animals moving through the grass, people near and far, all touched by the simple wish for peace. Now, let us pause for a guided reflection. Imagine yourself holding your lantern close to your heart. Feel its warmth spreading through your chest, soothing old wounds, melting tension, reminding you that you are worthy of kindness. Next, imagine extending the lantern outward, offering its light to someone you care for. See their face relax as the glow surrounds them, softening their burden. Breathe in and silently say, "May you be safe." Breathe out and silently say, "May you be at peace." Now, imagine holding the lantern towards someone you have struggled with, perhaps a person who has caused you pain. At first, it may feel difficult, But compassion teaches us that even those who hurt are often hurting. Offer them light, not to excuse their actions, but to free yourself from the darkness of anger. Breathe in and say, "May you be free from suffering." Breathe out and say, "May you find peace." Finally, raise your lantern high, letting its glow shine outward in all directions. Imagine the world bathed in this gentle light, every being near or far, friend or stranger, human or animal touched by the warmth of compassion. Breathe in and say, "May all beings be safe." Breathe out and say, "May all beings live with ease." The lantern of compassion is not fragile. Even in strong winds, it can remain steady when protected by mindfulness. Even in storms, it continues to shine when fed with patience, and the darker the night, the more radiant its light appears. So tonight, as you rest, imagine your lantern beside you, glowing softly. Let it remind you that you carry within you the strength to meet suffering with kindness, to meet fear with love, to meet darkness with light. Take one final breath for this chapter. Inhale compassion, exhale peace. May your lantern shine brightly, guiding you through the night, unshaken by the storms that pass. Many people mistake hardness for strength. They believe that to be strong is to never bend, to never show emotion, to strike back quickly when challenged. Yet the Buddha taught that such reactions are not strength at all, they are weakness disguised in harshness. True strength is quiet, patient, and steady, like the rock unmoved by the storm. Imagine a person who shouts at every insult, who grows angry at the slightest criticism, who hides fear beneath a mask of aggression. This person may seem powerful, but in truth, they are like a reed trembling in the wind, easily shaken. Their peace depends entirely on the world, treating them gently. When storms come, their mask crumbles. Now imagine another person. They are calm in the face of blame, gracious in the presence of praise, steady whether they win or lose. Their voice is gentle, but their presence is strong. This is true strength, the strength of a mind that does not waver, a heart that does not close. Take a slow breath now. Inhale steadiness, exhale reaction. Allow the breath to remind you that you do not need to fight every wind. You can simply stand, rooted and calm. The Buddha once said, "One who conquers himself is greater than one who conquers 1,000 men in battle." Strength is not in defeating others, but in mastering one's own mind. Anger, greed, fear, these are the true battles. And victory comes not through force, but through patience and understanding. Consider fire. Left uncontrolled, fire destroys. But tended carefully, fire warms and nourishes. Anger is the same. Unchecked, it burns relationships and peace. Transformed through mindfulness, its energy becomes determination and courage. True strength is not in feeding the flames, but in tending them wisely. There is a story of a monk who was mocked by villagers each day as he walked for alms. They hurled insults, laughed, and tried to provoke him, yet he never responded with anger. One day, a villager asked, "Why do you never react? Do our words not wound you?" The monk replied, "If someone offers you a gift and you do not take it, to whom does the gift belong?" The villagers were silent. His calm revealed that their insults were powerless without his acceptance. This is misunderstood. Strength turned into true strength. Not the power to crush others, but the wisdom to refuse what harms. Pause here for a breath. Inhale peace. Exhale defensiveness. Feel yourself loosening the grip of needing to prove anything to anyone. So often, society praises toughness, the unyielding competitor, the loudest voice, the one who refuses to show vulnerability. Yet true resilience is found in gentleness. The tree that bends in the storm survives. The river that flows around the rock shapes the landscape. The compassionate heart outlasts the angry one. Take another slow breath. Inhale compassion, exhale pride. Notice how strength softens when joined with kindness. When you feel anger rise within you, it may seem strong, but ask yourself, is this truly strength, or is it fear disguised in fire? When you feel the urge to shout, to strike, to dominate, pause and ask, would it not take greater strength to remain calm, to respond with clarity rather than reaction? The Buddha called anger a poison. It clouds judgment, weakens the body, and wounds the heart. True strength lies in patience, in waiting for the storm to pass before acting. Like a wise sailor, you do not fight the sea during the storm. You steady the ship and wait for calmer waters. Now, imagine yourself faced with criticism. Picture someone speaking harshly to you. Notice the heat rising in your chest, the tightening of your jaw, and then imagine taking a breath. Inhale calm, exhale tension. See yourself responding not with fire, but with silence, with patience, perhaps even with kindness. Feel the quiet power of this choice. This is the strength that cannot be shaken, the strength that does not need to prove itself, the strength that endures beyond praise or blame. Rest now in this understanding. You do not need hardness to be strong. You do not need anger to be powerful. True strength is gentleness, rooted in wisdom, compassion held steady in the midst of storms. Take one final breath for this chapter. Inhale the strength of patience, exhale the strength of compassion, and know that this is the strength that lasts. The breath is our constant companion. From the first moment of life to the last, it is always with us, rising and falling like waves, steady and faithful, like the heartbeat of the earth. When storms of life surround us, the breath becomes our anchor, reminding us that stability is always one inhale, one exhale away. Tonight, let us rest in the breath as a source of strength. Let us discover how each inhale can root us deeper, and each exhale can free us from what we no longer need. Begin by noticing your natural breath. You do not need to change anything. Simply observe the gentle rise of your chest, the soft fall of your belly. Feel the air entering cool, leaving warm. Notice that your body already knows how to breathe, without effort, without thought. This is strength, the quiet strength of life itself, moving through you. Now, let us deepen the breath. Inhale slowly through the nose, drawing the air all the way into the belly. Pause for a heartbeat. Then exhale gently through the mouth, releasing tension, releasing strain. Let your breath flow like the tide, full and steady as it comes in, calm and soft as it flows out. Take another slow inhale. As you breathe in, imagine drawing strength from the earth itself, rising into you like roots, drawing water from deep soil. Feel the stability, the grounding, the resilience entering with each breath. Now exhale. Imagine releasing all heaviness, worry, doubt, fatigue, letting them drift away like leaves carried downstream. Pause here for a moment. Notice how already you feel lighter, steadier, more centered. We will continue with a rhythm. Inhale for a count of 4. Hold gently for a count of 2. Exhale for a count of 6. Let the exhale be longer than the inhale, reminding the body that it is safe, reminding the heart that it can let go. Inhale, 2, 3, 4. Hold. 1, 2. Exhale. 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Again. Inhale deeply. 2, 3, 4. Hold. 1, 2. Exhale. 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Continue at your own pace, resting in this gentle rhythm. Each breath steadies you. Each breath strengthens you. Now imagine, with each inhale, you are breathing in light. A soft golden glow fills your chest, warming your body, illuminating your heart. With each exhale, imagine breathing out shadows, fear, anger, sorrow, watching them dissolve into the air, leaving you lighter. Inhale light. Exhale shadow. Inhale stability. Exhale uncertainty. Inhale strength. Exhale weakness. Allow this pattern to settle deeply into you. Picture yourself as a great rock on a mountain slope. Winds may blow, storms may strike, but with each breath, you root deeper into the earth. Your inhale strengthens your foundation. Your exhale clears away what does not serve you. You remain steady and calm. Take another slow inhale and imagine the breath flowing all the way down to your feet, anchoring you like roots. As you exhale, imagine the breath rising upward, clearing your mind, releasing every tension. Your whole being becomes a channel for strength, rooted, steady, and free. Now, let's expand this reflection outward. With each inhale, imagine drawing in not only your own strength, but the strength of countless beings across time. The monks who sat in meditation, the sages who endured hardship, the ordinary people who faced storms and remained steady. Their strength flows into you with every breath. With each exhale, imagine sending your own calm back into the world, like a gift of peace to every living being. You breathe in resilience, you breathe out compassion, you breathe in clarity, you breathe out peace. Pause here and rest in this flow. Feel how simple it is, how the act of breathing connects you to life, to strength, to peace. The Buddha taught that mindfulness of breathing is one of the surest paths to freedom. By observing the breath, we calm the storms of the mind. By resting in the breath, we discover strength that does not depend on circumstance. Take a final deep inhale for this chapter. Feel strength rising through you, filling every part of your being. Hold it gently for a moment, then exhale slowly, letting every worry drift away. Rest in the calm that remains. Your breath is always here. It is your lantern, your anchor, your strength. The mind is like a garden. Whatever we plant within it will grow. If we scatter seeds of worry, fear, and anger, those seeds will take root, sprout, and spread. If we cultivate seeds of patience, kindness, and awareness, they too will grow, blossoming into peace. The Buddha often reminded his students that mindfulness is the careful gardener of the mind. Imagine walking into your own inner garden. At first, you may notice weeds, thoughts of self-criticism, memories of hurt, fears of the future. These weeds are natural, for every garden contains them. But mindfulness gives us the ability to see clearly, to tend gently, to pull out what chokes our peace and nurture what brings joy. Take a slow breath now. Inhale as though you are drawing in fresh rainwater to nourish your plants. Exhale as though you are clearing away debris, making space for growth. Picture yourself kneeling in the soil of this inner garden. With each breath, you gently pull out a weed, a thought that says, "I am not enough," another that says, "I cannot change." As you lift them from the soil, you do not judge yourself for having them. You simply clear space, knowing that weeds do not define a garden. Now imagine planting new seeds. With each inhale, you place a seed of patience, a seed of gratitude, a seed of compassion. With each exhale, you cover them with soil, trusting they will grow in time. The work is slow but steady. Every breath, every choice, is another act of cultivation. Pause here for reflection. What seeds have you been planting in your own mind lately? Have they been seeds of worry or seeds of kindness? Notice without judgment. Simply see what is there. The Buddha taught that just as water nourishes a seed, mindfulness nourishes wholesome thoughts. By paying attention to what is present, we give life to peace. By neglecting mindfulness, we allow weeds of fear to take over. But with steady care, the garden of the mind becomes a place of beauty. Take another breath. Inhale peace, as if it were sunlight falling across the soil. Exhale stress, as if it were weeds being pulled gently away. Imagine now that your inner garden has grown. Trees of patience stand tall. Flowers of kindness bloom in radiant colors. Vines of gratitude climb gently toward the sky. The weeds still appear, but you tend them calmly, never letting them overwhelm the space. You walk among the blossoms, breathing in their fragrance, resting in their shade. There is a story of a monk who was asked how he maintained such a peaceful mind. He said, "Each day I tend my garden. When anger arises, I see it as a weed. I do not hate it, but I do not feed it. When joy arises, I see it as a flower. I give it water and sunlight. What I tend grows strong. What I neglect fades." This is the wisdom of mindfulness. We cannot stop every weed from sprouting, but we can choose where to give our energy. We can choose to water compassion instead of resentment, gratitude instead of greed, calm instead of chaos. Pause for a breath. Inhale choice. Exhale clarity. Feel how the garden of your mind responds to your gentle attention. Sometimes storms come. Heavy rains may flatten flowers. Strong winds may scatter leaves. In life, these are the difficult days, times of loss, stress, or fear. Yet just as a real garden recovers when the sun returns, your inner garden too can heal when mindfulness returns. Strength is found not in preventing storms, but in tending the garden afterward with patience. Now imagine yourself sitting on a bench in this inner garden. The sun is warm, the air is fragrant, the sound of birds and bees surrounds you. You feel safe here, at home within yourself. This is the fruit of mindfulness, to create a sanctuary where peace can grow, no matter what storms pass outside. Take another deep breath. Inhale sunlight, exhale gratitude. Let yourself rest in the beauty of your own cultivation. The garden of the mind is never finished. Each day, we return, pulling weeds, planting seeds, watering what we wish to grow. Some days the work feels easy, other days it feels heavy. But over time, with patience, the garden flourishes. And when the mind flourishes, the heart finds peace. So tonight, as you rest, let yourself imagine tending your inner garden. See yourself pulling away worry, planting compassion, watering joy. See yourself walking gently among blossoms of peace. May this garden grow stronger each day, nourished by mindfulness, steady in every season. Take one final breath for this chapter. Inhale calm, exhale kindness. Rest in the quiet beauty of your garden of mindfulness. In the heart of every forest stands a teacher. It is the tree silent, steady, and enduring. Through countless seasons, through storms and sunshine, it remains rooted. Some trees bend gracefully in the wind, swaying without breaking. Others stand tall and firm, their trunks wide and strong. Together, they remind us that true resilience is not found in resisting life's storms, but in learning how to move with them. Imagine walking into a forest after a heavy storm. Branches may have fallen, leaves may scatter the ground, but the trees still stand. Their roots hold deep in the earth. Their branches reach once more toward the sky. Even after hardship, they continue to grow. Take a slow breath here. Inhale strength from the roots beneath you. Exhale the tension of storms past. Notice how each breath roots you deeper into the earth, steady and calm. The Buddha once said, "Just as a solid rock is not shaken by the storm, so too the wise are not moved by praise or blame." The tree is a living example of this truth. Winds may howl, rains may fall, but the tree remains. It bends, but it does not break. Now imagine yourself as such a tree. Picture roots extending deep into the soil, anchoring you securely. Picture your trunk rising tall, your branches stretching wide. Winds may push against you, storms may test you, but your roots hold firm. Pause for a breath. Inhale stability, exhale fear. Feel yourself steady, unshaken by the winds that blow. There is a story of a monk who once asked his teacher how to endure suffering. The teacher pointed to a bamboo grove swaying in the wind. "Do you see?" he said. "The bamboo does not resist the wind. It bends with it. That is why it does not break." The monk understood. To endure suffering is not to harden oneself, but to remain flexible, to bend when life demands, and to rise again when the wind has passed. Think of times in your own life when the winds have blown strongly. Perhaps words that hurt, losses that shook you, moments when you feared you might not endure. And yet, here you are. You bent, but you did not break. You endured, and you grew stronger. Take another slow breath. Inhale resilience. Exhale doubt. Feel the strength of your own survival, the quiet proof that you too are a resilient tree. Resilience does not mean we are untouched by storms. Trees lose branches, their bark bears scars, yet they live on. In the same way, we may carry wounds, memories of hardship, signs of what we have endured. But these do not weaken us. They are marks of growth, proof of our resilience. Picture now a great oak that has stood for centuries. Its trunk is scarred, but its roots are deep. Its branches spread wide, sheltering countless beings beneath its shade. Its strength lies not in perfection, but in endurance. The Buddha taught that resilience comes from understanding impermanence. The storm will pass, the wind will quiet, the sun will shine again. The tree does not despair in winter, for it knows spring will return. We too can rest in this truth. No storm lasts forever. Pause here. Inhale patience. Exhale trust. Allow the rhythm of your breath to remind you that change is constant, and resilience is the art of waiting with wisdom. Now, imagine planting your own roots of resilience. With each inhale, send strength downward into the earth, anchoring yourself more deeply. With each exhale, feel yourself growing taller, stretching higher, reaching toward light. You are both rooted and rising, steady and growing. Take another breath. Inhale nourishment from the soil of your experiences. Exhale gratitude for the ways you have endured. See yourself as the tree, alive, resilient, unshaken. Resilience also teaches compassion. When we know what it means to withstand storms, we recognize the struggles of others. Just as a tree offers shade and shelter, so too can we offer comfort to those who are weathering their own winds. So tonight, as you rest, let the image of the tree remain with you. See yourself rooted in strength, bending with grace, rising with resilience. May you remember that storms do not define you. Your endurance does. Take one final breath for this chapter. Inhale the strength of roots. Exhale the freedom of branches swaying in the wind. Rest as the resilient tree, steady and alive. In a quiet temple, far from the noise of the world, a single candle burns. Its flame flickers gently, glowing with warmth and light. Around it, the air stirs with the faintest movement. At times the flame bends, at times it trembles, but still it shines. The The Buddha often compared the mind to a flame. When guarded and tended carefully, it brings light to darkness. When neglected or left exposed, the slightest gust can extinguish it. To cultivate mental strength is to learn how to shield the flame, to protect it from the winds of distraction, anger, and fear. Imagine yourself as that candle. Your heart is the flame, delicate yet powerful, vulnerable yet capable of endless illumination. Around you, the winds of life blow. Criticism, stress, uncertainty, each one a gust that could shake the flame. And yet, with mindfulness, the flame remains steady. Take a slow breath here. Inhale warmth, exhale protection. Feel the quiet glow of your own inner flame. There is an old story of a young monk who struggled with his thoughts. Every time he sat to meditate, worries rushed in, like winds scattering his focus. He went to his teacher in frustration, saying, "Master, my mind will not be still. The flame of my attention is blown out again and again." The teacher smiled and lit a candle. Then he placed a glass lantern over it. The flame continued to burn, undisturbed by the wind. "Do you see?" the teacher said. "You cannot stop the wind, but you can protect the flame. So it is with the mind. We cannot stop the winds of the world. Praise and blame will come. Gain and loss will come. Joy and sorrow will come. But we can protect the flame within by guarding it with mindfulness, by surrounding it with compassion, by refusing to let every gust of opinion or emotion blow it out." Take another breath. Inhale steadiness. Exhale distraction. Imagine a lantern forming around your heart, clear and strong, allowing your flame to shine without fear of being extinguished. The candle teaches us that true strength is not hardness, but endurance. The flame bends with the wind, but it does not vanish. In the same way, a strong mind is not one that never feels shaken, but one that continues to shine despite the shaking. Now imagine walking through a dark forest at night with your candle in hand. Each step is lit by its glow. The trees loom tall, shadows surround you, and winds move through the branches. Without your candle, the darkness would overwhelm. With it, you see enough to continue. This is how mindfulness works. It may not show us the entire path, but it illuminates the next step, and that is enough. Pause here for reflection. What winds are blowing in your own life? Are they winds of worry, of self-doubt, of criticism? Notice how they stir the flame of your mind. And then, imagine shielding that flame with compassion, holding it gently, refusing to let it go out. The Buddha once said, "Just as a lamp does not flicker in a windless place, so too the yogi's mind remains unmoved when practicing meditation." To cultivate strength is to create such a place within a space where the winds may blow outside, but inside, the flame remains calm. Take another slow breath. Inhale peace, exhale fear. Watch your inner flame glow brighter with each breath. Strength is not the absence of vulnerability. A candle's flame is fragile, yet it can light an entire room. In the same way, your mind may feel delicate, yet it can hold great resilience. By tending to it daily with mindfulness, with kindness, with patience, you allow it to burn steadily, no matter what winds arise. Picture now placing your candle beside another, then another, and another, until the room is filled with hundreds of flames, each one small, each one delicate, yet together they illuminate the darkness completely. Compassion works this way. Your flame, joined with others, becomes a great light that no storm can extinguish. So rest now in this image. Your flame is steady, your lantern is strong. The winds may blow, but they cannot touch the heart of your strength. Take one final breath for this chapter. Inhale light, exhale peace. May your inner flame shine steadily, unshaken by the winds of life. There is a place within each of us that is silent, spacious, and untouched by the noise of the world. In Buddhist tradition, this place is often compared to a temple, a sanctuary of peace, where the heart can rest and the mind can become still. Imagine walking through a forest path at twilight. The air is cool, the leaves whisper softly above you. As you walk, you come upon a stone stairway leading to a temple. Lanterns flicker along the path, guiding you upward. With each step, the noise of the world falls farther away, and a deeper stillness begins to surround you. At last, you arrive at the temple's doors. They are carved with images of lotus flowers, symbols of purity and awakening. You push them open, and a wave of calm greets you. Inside, the air is cool and fragrant with incense. The sound of your footsteps is soft, echoing gently across the floor. Take a breath here. Inhale the quiet, exhale the noise of the day. Feel yourself entering not only a temple of stone, but the temple of your own heart. In the center of the temple, a great statue of the Buddha sits in meditation. His eyes are half closed, his face serene, his posture steady as a mountain. Around him, candles flicker like tiny stars. You sit before this image and feel his stillness radiating into you. It is as if the statue itself is alive with calm, reminding you of your own capacity for peace. Pause here for reflection. Notice how your body responds to this stillness. Your shoulders soften, your breath slows, your mind quiets. You realize that stillness is not something you must create. It is something you return to, something that has always been within you. The Buddha taught that meditation is the path to this inner temple. When we sit in silence, observing the breath, watching thoughts pass like clouds, we enter the sanctuary of stillness. This stillness is not emptiness, it is fullness, alive with peace, clarity, and strength. Take another slow breath. Inhale calm, exhale distraction. Each breath is a doorway, leading you deeper into the temple. Now, imagine sitting on a cushion in this sacred hall. The air is so quiet you can hear your heartbeat. Thoughts may arise, plans, worries, memories, but you let them pass like footsteps outside the temple walls. Inside, you remain undisturbed. This is mental strength, to rest in stillness, even while thoughts and emotions come and go. The storms of the world may rage outside, but in the temple of your heart, there is silence. You are unshaken. You are at peace. Consider this. True strength is not always found in action. Often, it is found in stillness, in the ability to pause, to refrain from reaction, to sit quietly until clarity returns. Just as the temple does not chase after the world, you too can learn to rest in stillness, allowing the world to pass without losing your center. Take another breath. Inhale patience, exhale ease. Let the temple remind you that stillness is always available, no matter where you are. The Buddha once said, "Better than 1,000 hollow words is one word that brings peace." Stillness teaches us this wisdom. When the mind is quiet, when the heart is calm, the words we speak carry weight. The actions we take flow from clarity. Now, imagine leaving the temple for a moment. You step outside into the night, and the forest greets you again. Yet something has changed. The world is the same, the trees, the stars, the air, but you are different. You carry the stillness of the temple within you. This is the gift of practice. The temple of stillness is not only found in stone halls or sacred spaces. It is found in every breath, every pause, every moment you choose to rest in awareness. Take one final breath for this chapter. Inhale stillness, exhale peace, and know that you carry the temple within you, steady and unshaken, wherever you go. Imagine a clear pond in the middle of a quiet forest. Its surface is smooth and still, reflecting the sky, the trees, and the light of the Sunday. When disturbed by wind, the reflection becomes distorted. But when calm returns, the pond shows the world as it truly island. The Buddha often compared the mind to water. When restless with craving, anger, or self-doubt, we cannot see clearly. But when calm, the mind becomes a perfect mirror, reflecting reality without distortion. Tonight, let us use this mirror to reflect on self-acceptance. Sit quietly by the pond in your imagination. See your own reflection in the water. Notice how it looks back at you, not with judgment, not with criticism, but simply with presence. The pond does not say you should be different. It shows you as you are, whole in this moment. Take a slow breath here. Inhale acceptance, exhale judgment. Allow your reflection to soften, becoming a gentle presence rather than a harsh critic. So often, we mistake self-criticism for strength. We think that by pushing ourselves harder, by pointing out every flaw, we will grow. But just as a plant cannot thrive in poisoned soil, we cannot thrive when our minds are filled with harshness. Self-acceptance is the fertile ground in which true growth takes root. Pause here for reflection. Think of the words you speak to yourself in difficult times. Are they words of kindness or words of judgment? How would your life feel if your inner voice spoke with the same gentleness you offer to a dear friend? The Buddha once said, "You can search the whole universe and not find a single being more deserving of your love and compassion than yourself." To practice self-acceptance is to live in harmony with this truth. Imagine now that the pond ripples slightly. Perhaps you recall mistakes, regrets, or times you fell short. See how the reflection distorts, yet as the ripples fade, the water clears once more. Your reflection remains steady and whole. So too, your essence is not defined by mistakes. They pass, but your worth remains untouched. Take another breath. Inhale forgiveness, exhale regret. Let your reflection return to stillness. Self-acceptance is not complacency. It does not mean ignoring growth or pretending we have no faults. It means seeing clearly, acknowledging both strengths and weaknesses, and choosing to meet them with compassion. Just as the pond reflects the whole landscape without rejecting any part, so too can we embrace the fullness of who we are. Picture now kneeling by the pond and placing your hand on its surface. Instead of rippling, imagine the water welcoming you, merging with you. You and the reflection become one, no longer separate. You realize there is no need to fight yourself. Acceptance brings unity. There is a story of a monk who struggled with self-doubt. No matter how hard he practiced, he felt unworthy. One day, his teacher handed him a mirror and asked, "When you look into this, do you see only flaws?" The monk nodded. The teacher replied, "The mirror does not judge you. It reflects you as you are. Be like the mirror. See yourself clearly, but do not condemn. Only then will you find peace." Pause here. Inhale clarity. Exhale gentleness. Let yourself rest in the awareness that you are enough, as you are, in this very moment. Self-acceptance is itself a form of strength. It shields us from the winds of external judgment, for when we have accepted ourselves, the opinions of others cannot shake us as deeply. When we rest in self-acceptance, we carry a resilience that no storm can uproot. Take another breath. Inhale stability, exhale fear. See your reflection shining calm and true. Now, imagine standing up from the pond and walking away. Though you leave its waters behind, you carry the mirror within you. Each time you doubt yourself, each time you judge yourself harshly, you can return to this inner pond and remember, I am worthy of kindness. I am whole as I am. Rest now in this truth. Self-acceptance is not the end of the path, it is the beginning. From it grows compassion, resilience, and peace. From it grows the strength to face life's storms without being shaken. Take one final breath for this chapter. Inhale acceptance, exhale peace, and know that your reflection in the mirror of stillness is already whole, already complete. From the beginning of this journey, we have carried with us the Buddha's teaching. As a rock that is unshaken by the storm, so too are the wise unshaken by praise or blame. Tonight, let us return to this image, for it is the heart of mental strength and resilience. Imagine standing before a great rock on the edge of the sea. Waves crash against it, winds howl around it, storms lash at its surface, yet the rock remains. It does not resist, it does not complain, it does not crumble, it simply endures. Take a slow breath here. Inhale stability, exhale fear. Feel yourself becoming that rock, steady and unmoved. Life will always bring storms. Words of praise may try to lift us up. Words of blame may try to pull us down. Success may tempt us to cling. Failure may tempt us to despair. But the wise know that these are only winds. They come and go, but the rock remains. Pause for reflection. What storms have tested you in your life? What winds have tried to carry you away? Remember that through it all, you are still here. Like the rock, you have endured. The Buddha called these storms the 8 worldly winds: praise and blame, gain and loss, fame and disgrace, pleasure and pain. No one escapes them. They swirl around every human life. But you need not be swept away. Take another breath. Inhale calm, exhale attachment. With each breath, you root yourself deeper into the ground of awareness. There is a story of a sage who was insulted by a king. His disciples grew angry, urging him to respond. But the sage smiled and said, "If a man offers me a gift and I do not accept it, to whom does it belong?" The disciples understood. The words of insult, like the winds of a storm, had no power unless he chose to receive them. His strength lay in remaining unmoved. True strength is not loud or forceful. It is quiet, steady, patient. It is the willingness to remain at peace in the midst of turmoil. The rock does not need to announce its strength. It simply remains, unshaken. Now, imagine yourself as this rock. Storms may rage, people may speak, circumstances may shift, but within you, there is a core that does not move. This is your true self, unshaken, steady, free. Take another breath. Inhale presence, exhale distraction. Feel the solidity of your own being, strong and calm. Strength does not mean that you never feel pain. The rock is weathered by storms, its surface scarred by waves. But even with cracks, even with marks of time, it remains whole. In the same way, you too may carry scars, yet you remain unbroken. The Buddha taught that wisdom is the key to this unshakable strength. When we understand impermanence, when we see that storms come and go, we no longer cling to praise or resist blame. We no longer chase gain or fear loss. We no longer crave pleasure or despair in pain. We rest in the calm beneath it all. Pause here. Inhale wisdom. Exhale clinging. Feel the freedom that arises when you no longer fight the winds. Now, imagine sitting upon the great rock itself, feeling its solidity beneath you. The storm may rage around you, but you are safe, steady, and calm. The waves crash, the winds howl, but you do not move. You are part of the rock. You are the rock. Take another slow breath. Inhale strength. Exhale surrender. Rest in the simplicity of being unshaken. This is the gift of practice, to discover that within you is a place that no storm can reach. When you rest there, you become like the rock, unshaken by praise or blame, unmoved by gain or loss, steady in the face of all things. So tonight, let the image of the rock remain with you. Carry it into your dreams, carry it into your waking life, and whenever storms arise, return to this truth. I am steady, I am strong, I am unshaken. Take one final breath for this chapter. Inhale resilience, exhale peace, and know that you too are the unshaken rock. In a quiet village, a potter sits at his wheel. Before him is a lump of clay, formless, soft, without shape. He wets his hands and begins to spin the wheel. Slowly, steadily, the clay begins to rise, to widen, to narrow, to take form. What begins as a shapeless mass becomes a vessel, strong, beautiful, and useful. The Buddha often compared life to this process of shaping. Time turns the wheel. Experiences are the hands that press against us. Some pressures are gentle, guiding us with ease. Others are firm, even painful. Yet without this shaping, the clay would remain formless. Without challenge, we too would remain unshaped, untested, incomplete. Take a slow breath here. Inhale patience, exhale resistance. Imagine yourself as clay, being gently shaped by the turning of life's wheel. At first, the clay resists. It wobbles, collapses, falls flat. The potter does not despair. He simply gathers it again, wets it, and begins anew. So too, in life, we stumble, we collapse, we feel broken, but the shaping continues. Each fall is not the end, but another beginning. Pause here for reflection. Think of times in your life when you felt pressed, when hardship pushed against you. Perhaps it felt harsh, even unfair. Yet looking back, can you see how those pressures shaped you, how they gave you strength, patience, or compassion? Take another breath. Inhale the lesson of pressure. Exhale the resistance to growth. The potter's hands are not enemies of the clay. They are its teachers. Without pressure, the clay cannot rise. Without shaping, it cannot hold. In the same way, life's hardships are not punishments, but opportunities. They mold us into vessels of resilience, capable of holding wisdom, compassion, and strength. There is a story told of a monk who once complained to his teacher about his difficulties. "Why is life pressing me so hard?" he asked. The teacher pointed to a pot on the table and said, "Do you see this vessel? Without the wheel, it would be a lump of clay. Without the fire of the kiln, it would dissolve in water. The pressures you face are the hands and the fire that give you strength. Do not fear them. They are what make you whole." Take another slow breath. Inhale strength. Exhale fear. Feel yourself steady on the wheel of life, turning, shaping, forming. The clay does not choose its pressures. It does not know what form it will take. A bowl, a cup, a vase, each is shaped by the hands that guide it. We too may not always know where life is leading us, but through patience and mindfulness, we learn to trust the process. Now, imagine yourself on the potter's wheel. With each spin, life's experiences press against you. At times they squeeze tightly, at times they ease. With each spin, you are rising, growing taller, becoming more defined. You may not yet see the final form, but you can feel the shaping. Take another breath. Inhale trust, exhale doubt. Rest in the awareness that every experience contributes to your becoming. When the pot is finally shaped, it must face the fire of the kiln. Without the fire, the clay remains fragile, dissolving at the first drop of water. With the fire, it hardens into something strong and lasting. In the same way, our hardships temper us. The fires we endure do not destroy us. They strengthen us, making us resilient, unshaken by future storms. Pause here. Inhale courage. Exhale fear of the fire. Feel how the very challenges you face become the source of your strength. The Buddha once said, "Enduring patience is the highest austerity." Patience is what allows us to remain on the wheel, to stay in the fire, to trust the shaping. Without patience, we break too soon. With patience, we emerge as vessels of wisdom. Now, picture yourself as a finished vessel. Smooth, strong, and whole. You are capable of holding the waters of compassion, the nourishment of kindness, the treasures of wisdom. Every press, every spin, every flame has given you this strength. Take one more slow breath. Inhale gratitude for the shaping. Exhale resistance to growth. Rest in the awareness that you are both the clay and the vessel, always forming, always becoming. So tonight, let the image of the potter's wheel remain with you. Whatever pressures you face, whatever fires you endure, know that they are shaping you into something strong, beautiful, and unshaken. Take one final breath for this chapter. Inhale resilience, exhale peace, and trust that the wheel of life is shaping you with care. Life often feels like standing before a rushing river. The waters roar below, filled with currents of worry, waves of fear, and swirling eddies of uncertainty. To cross seems daunting, yet we must cross, for on the other side lies growth, freedom, and peace. Imagine yourself approaching such a river. The water churns, carrying branches and stones. The sound is loud, the air filled with spray. For a moment, doubt rises. How can I cross? Will I be swept away? These are the same questions that arise when we face difficulties in life. Then, you notice a bridge stretching from one side to the other. Its planks are simple, its ropes steady, its structure built with patience and care. This bridge is your practice, the habits of mindfulness, compassion, and resilience that carry you safely above the turbulence. Take a slow breath here. Inhale steadiness, exhale fear. Place your first step onto the bridge. At first, the bridge sways beneath you. The current below seems louder, the distance across feels immense. You grip the ropes, your heart quickens. But as you continue, step by step, something shifts. Your footing grows steadier. The bridge, though swaying, supports you fully. The river roars, but it cannot reach you. Pause here for reflection. Think of times in your life when you have faced great turbulence, perhaps grief, perhaps fear, perhaps uncertainty. What bridges carried you across? A kind word from a friend, the strength of your own breath, the practice of sitting quietly and allowing the storm to pass. Take another breath. Inhale gratitude for those bridges. Exhale worry. Trust that they will appear again when needed. The Buddha taught that the path itself, each step of right view, right effort, right mindfulness, and right concentration is another plank beneath our feet. Together, they create a way across life's turbulence. We may feel the sway, but we are held. Now imagine reaching the middle of the bridge. Below, the water is at its wildest, crashing against rocks, pulling everything into its current. For a moment, fear whispers, "What if the bridge breaks?" But then, you take a breath. Inhale, calm. Exhale, trust. You realize the bridge is strong, built not in haste, but through steady effort. There is a story of a traveler who once faced such a river. He was paralyzed with fear, unable to step forward. A wise guide told him, "The river will not stop for you. The storms will not pause, but the bridge is strong, and it was built for you to cross. Trust it." With trembling legs, the traveler stepped forward. Each step grew steadier until at last he reached the far side. Looking back, he saw that the river was just as fierce, but his fear had lessened. He had discovered strength by trusting the bridge. Pause for another breath. Inhale courage. Exhale hesitation. In your own life, the bridge may be daily practice. It may be the simple act of breathing when anxiety rises. It may be pausing before responding in anger. It may be remembering that storms do not last forever. Each of these practices is a plank in your bridge, carrying you across safely. Now, imagine taking your final steps across the bridge. The roar of the river fades slightly. The ground of the far shore comes closer. With one last deep breath, you step onto solid earth again. Relief washes over you. You look back and see the turbulence you have crossed. You realize that the storm was real, but the bridge was stronger. This is resilience. Not avoiding the river, not denying its force, but finding a way across. Not through force, but through trust. Not through panic, but through steady steps. Take one more slow breath. Inhale trust. Exhale peace. The Buddha once said, "Better to cross the flood with wisdom than to fight against the current." The bridge is wisdom. The crossing is mindfulness. The far shore is peace. So tonight, as you rest, remember that whatever rivers roar in your life, there is always a bridge, built from patience, anchored by awareness, strengthened by compassion. It will hold you steady. All you need is the courage to step forward, one breath at a time. Take one final breath for this chapter. Inhale steadiness, exhale trust, and know that the bridge across the river will always carry you to safety. In a temple hall, a great bronze bell hangs in silence. It is tall and heavy, its surface carved with symbols of lotus petals and flowing waves. When struck, it produces a sound so deep and pure that it echoes across the valley. Yet between each strike, it waits in stillness, steady and whole. The Buddha taught that strength is not only found in action, but also in restraint. Just as the bell does not ring unless struck, so too we do not need to react to every word, every insult, every challenge. True strength is the ability to remain silent when silence is wiser than noise. Imagine yourself as that bell. Life may bring situations that feel like strikes, harsh words, disappointments, unexpected storms. Each one tries to make you ring with anger or fear, yet you have a choice. You can let the strike pass without echo, remaining steady in silence. Take a slow breath here. Inhale patience, exhale reaction. Feel yourself becoming the silent bell, full of potential, steady and calm. There is a story of a monk who was insulted again and again by a man in the marketplace. The monk listened quietly, then walked away without responding. Another person asked him, "Why did you not answer his insults?" The monk replied, "If a man offers me a gift and I refuse to accept it, the gift remains with him. So too with anger. I choose not to accept it." Like the bell, he remained silent, and his silence was his strength. Pause here for reflection. Think of a time when words or actions tempted you to react quickly. What might have happened if you had remained silent instead? Sometimes silence is not weakness, but wisdom, the choice to rise above rather than be pulled down. Take another breath. Inhale wisdom, exhale defensiveness. The sound of the bell, when it does ring, is not hurried or chaotic. It is clear, deep, and lasting. In the same way, when we choose our responses carefully, they carry weight and meaning. A single calm word spoken from wisdom is more powerful than 1,000 angry ones spoken in haste. Now, imagine yourself standing before the great temple bell. You raise the wooden mallet and strike it gently. The sound reverberates through the hall, deep and resonant, filling the air. Notice how the sound begins strong, then fades slowly into silence. This is the nature of all things, arising, fading, returning to quiet. Pause here. Inhale clarity, exhale attachment. Remember that every strike, every sound, every storm eventually fades. Silence always returns. There is another parable told of a Zen student who asked his master, "How do I find strength when people provoke me?" The master led him to a bell and struck it once. The sound rang out, pure and lingering. Then he asked the student to strike it again, harder. This time the sound was harsh, unsteady, unpleasant. The master said, "Do you see? The bell does not choose the strike, but it chooses how to sound. When life strikes you, will you ring with harshness or with clarity, or will you remain silent, steady, and whole?" 5. This is the lesson of the silent bell. We cannot stop life from striking us, but we can choose our response. Zen master Thich Nhat Hanh once wrote, "Silence is essential. We need silence just as much as we need air, just as much as plants need light. If our minds are crowded with words and thoughts, there is no space for ourselves." The silent bell teaches us this same wisdom, that silence is not emptiness, but space, strength, and clarity. To be like the silent bell is to carry peace within you, even when struck. Life may test you, but you do not need to let every strike define you. Instead, you can choose to remain whole, steady, and calm. Take another breath. Inhale strength, exhale noise. Rest in the stillness between sounds. Now, imagine carrying this bell within your own heart. Each time life strikes you, you pause before responding. You ask, will my response bring peace, or will it create more suffering? If peace is not possible, you remain silent, steady as the bell. If peace is possible, your words ring out clear and kind, like the bell's tone that echoes with beauty. Pause for reflection. What would your life feel like if you carried such a bell within you? How would your days change if you did not react to every strike, but chose silence and calm? Take one last slow breath here. Inhale steadiness, exhale peace. The bell teaches us that true strength is not in noise, but in silence, not in reaction, but in restraint, not in being shaken by every strike, but in remaining whole, calm, and unshaken. So tonight, as you rest, let the image of the silent bell remain with you. May you carry its stillness in your heart, ringing only when wisdom calls, and remaining peaceful in all other times. Take one final breath for this chapter. Inhale calm, exhale silence, and rest as the silent bell, steady and unshaken. As our journey tonight comes to an end, let us pause and rest in gratitude. We have walked through forests and rivers, climbed mountains, sat in temples, tended gardens, and listened to the wisdom of bells and candles. Each image has been a doorway, each reflection a guide, reminding us of the truth that strength is not resistance, but resilience, not noise, but silence, not hardness, but patience. Take a slow breath here. Inhale peace, exhale release. Allow your body to sink more deeply into rest, supported by the ground beneath you, held by the quiet of this moment. The Buddha taught that the mind of the wise is like a rock, unmoved by praise or blame. Tonight, you have become that rock. Storms may come, winds may blow, but your true self remains steady, grounded, and calm. The river reminded us of impermanence. Everything changes: joy and sorrow, gain and loss, beginnings and endings. To cling is to suffer, but to flow is to find freedom. Like the traveler who trusts the bridge, you too can step forward across the currents of life with trust and ease. The garden showed us how to tend the seeds of our minds. What you water grows. When you water kindness, gratitude, and peace, they flourish. When you pull the weeds of anger and doubt, the garden becomes a sanctuary. The lantern of compassion reminded us that kindness is a light we carry within. It does not banish the night, but it makes the path walkable. And when you raise your lantern high, its glow touches others, easing their burdens as well as your own. Take another breath. Inhale light, exhale fear. Feel the lantern of compassion glowing softly within you. The breath itself became our anchor, each inhale filling us with stability, each exhale releasing what no longer serves. The breath is always here, steady and faithful, a reminder that peace is as close as the next inhale, strength as close as the next exhale. The silent bell taught us that we do not need to respond to every strike. Strength is sometimes found not in speaking, but in restraint. Silence can be a deep well of wisdom, holding us steady until the storm passes. Pause here for reflection. Which image tonight touched you most deeply? Was it the rock, the river, the lantern, the garden, or the bell? Whichever it was, carry it gently with you as you drift into rest. Now, allow your awareness to move gently through your body from head to toe, as though blessing each part with rest. Bring your attention to your forehead. Let it soften, releasing every line of worry. Feel the space between your eyebrows widen, smooth and calm. Move down to your eyes. They have worked all day. Let them rest in darkness now, heavy and peaceful. Bring awareness to your jaw. Release the tightness there. Unclench your teeth. Let your tongue rest softly. Now move to your shoulders. Imagine them dropping like heavy stones, releasing burdens you no longer need to carry. Feel the breath soften your chest. Each inhale fills you with peace. Each exhale carries away tension. Bring awareness to your arms and hands. Let them loosen, heavy and warm at your sides. Move gently down to your belly. With each breath, let it rise and fall easily. Imagine warmth spreading through it, soothing you like sunlight. Now feel your legs, thighs, knees, calves growing heavy and still, sinking into rest. Finally, bring awareness to your feet. Imagine roots growing into the earth, grounding you in safety. Your entire body is now calm, heavy, steady, like a great mountain at peace beneath the stars. There is an old story of a weary traveler who walked long across mountains and valleys. Each day he carried burdens, faced storms, crossed rivers. One evening, he arrived at a quiet village. An old woman offered him food and a place to rest. "You have carried much," she said, "but tonight you need carry nothing. Set it all down." The traveler laid his heavy pack on the ground, ate simply, and fell asleep beneath the stars. When he awoke the next morning, the burdens of yesterday seemed lighter, his strength renewed. So too, sleep is our village, our resting place. Each night, we can set down the pack of our worries. Each morning, we rise lighter, clearer, renewed. Now, let us rest in blessing. May you be steady as the rock, unmoved by the winds of praise or blame. May you be fluid as the river, flowing with impermanence, trusting each step. May you be patient as the tree, rooted and resilient, bending without breaking. May you be compassionate as the lantern, shining light into your own heart and into the hearts of others. May you be calm as the bell, ringing only with wisdom, resting always in silence. May you be open as the garden, nurturing seeds of kindness and joy. May you be free as the traveler, setting down your burdens and finding peace. Pause here. Inhale these blessings. Exhale gratitude The Buddha once said, "Peace comes from within. Do not seek it without." Tonight, you have returned again and again to that inner peace. And as you rest now, know that this peace will remain with you, steady and unshaken. Take one final breath for this journey. Inhale strength. Exhale rest. Now, let go. Let go of effort, of worry, of thought. Let yourself drift into the gentle current of sleep, carried like a leaf upon the water, glowing like a lantern in the night, steady as a rock in the storm. You are safe, you are steady, you are unshaken.